like she was actually interested in my life, but that wasn't really.
You tried.
Yeah, I tried. So.
I have a high school reunion CD of 50s music.
Well,
I thought you were going to say big bands.
You did a CD, I'm not happy with that.
Yeah.
50s,
Like an 8-track.
50s goes beyond.
8-track. And I do know what that is.
Cliff has a lot of those 7, 8 RPM records, I bet.
You bet.
Yeah.
So that's June 3rd, what time is it?
I'm not sure what time it is yet.
All right.
It's a great
we'll
show.
announce that at the
Yeah.
next
Yeah, it was great last year. It was really good.
Cool. Well, thank you.
You
Is
should,
this your last meeting?
I think so.
Oh.
Thank you.
Well, if we don't see you again, good luck.
Thank
college.
you. Thank you very much.
And you probably don't have any homework to do tonight, so you can stay.
Oh, yeah. I had to get the AP Spanish.
There's a connection with me and Julio down in the schoolyard and the Catholic Church in Boston.
Oh.
Yeah, you know the verse where the press let the story leak, and when the radical priest come and got me released,
Oh, right.
both on the cover of Newsweek. The radical priest is a Boston priest.
Father Drinan?
Oh.
Really?
Is it Father Drinan?
No,
The
unfortunately,
alleged
it's
radical priest.
the other end of the spectrum.
Oh.
Well, find out.
Interesting.
Homework.
Learn something new.
That's right.
We've
See,
all
you
learned
can't replace
something.
experience.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Next item is Mike Gilbert here to talk with us about our superintendent search.
Good
Good
evening.
evening, Mike.
Mike?
All ready for a busy week?
Yes.
Bring it on.
So we have two issues to deal with tonight. First is the folks who went on the site visits to sort of talk about the candidates in the site visits so that the other members get a flavor for what you saw.
Okay. Good.
After the site visits, I feel certainly we have really two very, very good candidates. I consider us to be very fortunate. The discussions that we had at the site visit with town officials, school administrators, teachers, central office staff, and parents, and all of those in both districts confirmed all the statements that were made by the candidates during their interviews. And they also provided some further insight into the candidates' past and present roles. Both candidates very, very well respected in their districts. Both districts are saddened to see them move on, but understand that they deserve the career step. And both have served their districts very well. When I started the process, it seemed a little bizarre to me. From the private sector, I'd never been given the kind of entree and access to people around the prospective hire that we were given. And it's really been kind of a crash course into who these people really are and what their personalities are, how they interact with others, how they function in their current positions. And I think Maureen's been on both of these visits that we did. And I think that we, at least I feel like I know them. I'm looking forward to tomorrow and to observe them in our district, Thursday and observe in our district. And also to listen to their responses to the full committee interviews. And again, I can't say enough about how fortunate we are. Two very, very qualified candidates, and we're lucky.
If you want to speak to the Andover?
I was supposed to attend both, but I woke up the second morning and was sick, but I said I'll try anyway, and I got about half a mile from my house and I had to turn around and go home, so unfortunately I couldn't make it the second day. But the meetings in Andover were excellent. The feedback was great. The responses we got were expansive, and the people were open about discussing everything about that candidate. But just looking at the background and resumes of both, I really too am pleased with the two finalists that we have. I don't think we can go wrong either way. I think we have two highly qualified candidates, and I'm really excited with what we've actually come up with out of the search. I don't have any sense of disappointment. You know, sometimes you go through these searches and you say, is that all there is? But we have two really great candidates. I'm very pleased.
I would say that in addition to both being professional and qualified for the job, both Susan and Kathleen were incredibly nice people. I think they fit right in with this community. Both of them understood their role as a leader over their administrative team of our district, and both understood their role with working for the school committee. I think that from the input we received from, like, grievance directors on the union, to parents that, you know, had issues with the schools but were brought into the solutions. So you had people that started not liking them to people that loved them, and all of them had their respect. And that was really important, to see that they could work with all different types of people on all different issues, and still be pleasant and nice and agreeable. We were hosted in both communities like royalty, which was really nice, but in each one of the communities, especially in Triton, there was a sadness that these individuals will go. I think Kathleen will be sorely missed in her district, and I don't just mean her person. She seems to be the backbone of that school system, and I, for the life of me, cannot understand why they didn't, you know, beg her to apply for superintendent. Both of them have building project experience. Kathleen with an elementary school in Salisbury, and Susan was the principal at North Andover High School when they went through their renovation. So, you know, that's a benefit to our community. Both of them demonstrated times when they brought creativity in tough economic times, and both of them talked about pilot programs that they reached out to private organizations, private colleges, state colleges, to bring in pilot projects to test and see what might work, what might bring more AP experiences in for their kids. In Triton, it was gifted and talented programs, and in Andover, it was working with Merrimack College. So I think it will be a very difficult decision to make. But what I really was pleased is both of the candidates really want to come to North Reading because of the system and our reputation. So that was really pleasing to hear.
Yeah, I think that was one of the things Maureen mentioned I was impressed with, the ability to deal with difficult problems and make difficult decisions and come out of the situation with not too many people disliking you. And you know, that's a very difficult thing. And I saw that in Andover, and I know they saw the same thing in Triton. And the creativity aspect, both of these candidates have brought kind of new life into their districts with some of the things they've brought in, and that was also impressive.
Make it hard.
It's very
And so tomorrow, I guess we have Kathleen here tomorrow, right?
Kathleen Willis will be here tomorrow.
And we have that Cliff, some of us will be with, she'll be meeting with staff, but we do have a public reception from 4 to 5:30 at the high school. Is that in the main lobby?
Yes.
And then we'll have the same thing on Thursday,
Yeah.
right?
Do you want to go over that schedule?
Yeah, it's, certainly you can talk about the fact that they're going to spend the day in the district during the day. They'll finish up at the high school at about 3 o'clock. There'll be a public reception. I think they're going to meet with town officials after 3 o'clock, and then there'll be a public reception from 4 to 5:30. There'll be a break for them to have dinner and get their act together for their interview, and then a public interview in the library at 7 p.m. In the same schedule we apply for Thursday for Dr. Nicholson.
That's the high school.
High school library.
High school library, yes.
But you've lined up some folks to meet
Right,
and
you
greet
wanna
them at our
let
school.
them know
The program starts at the bachelor school. Because of the bus schedule, we worked around congestion.
You're not making the right bus.
None.
Don't take that bus tour.
And then we go to the Hood, the middle school, have lunch with the central office staff, with Andrew and Stan and other parents. After that, meeting with Ann Wendell and Dr. Mandel. And then on to the high school. Again, meet with town officials 3 to 4, then the reception in the lobby of the high school. Be quite a day.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, I was exhausted just 6 hours in their districts. They're gonna be there.
That was quite a day.
Mike, can you talk about the interview process?
Sure.
School committee members ask the questions, not
Yes.
the community?
Right, the process is the school committee will ask questions, have probably an hour to an hour and a half set aside for that. If you have questions about the questions, I'm more than happy to try to answer those. I think I provided you with information about areas to stay away from a legal perspective, but other than that, I generally don't tell school committees what to ask, because now it's about fit and comfort level between the district and the candidate, so you want to dig a little and try to get at your decision from that perspective. We've got two candidates that have been well vetted through the process and meet the qualifications that you've put forward, so now it's about fit.
I'm a good reader, but I like when someone tells me verbally what questions I shouldn't ask, because then I listen. So what are those things we should probably stay away from in terms of legal aspect, et cetera?
I think it's things like age, sex, or sexual orientation questions, residency questions, those types of things that really don't get into things that are relevant to the job.
And so one of the questions that comes up to me, is it proper to ask a candidate if they applied for a superintendency in another district if they weren't named a finalist?
No.
Okay. That's good.
So you won't be here?
I will be here.
You're gonna come?
I will
to
be
the
here.
interviews?
I usually show up at the community reception just to see how the candidates are handling themselves, and then I will be here. I will introduce the candidate to the school committee, and then I'll sit in the back and listen.
But do you give us some of these if you see a question coming out there?
I have been known to sort of rise out of my seat if
Okay.
I hear
I just want to make
things that
sure.
are out of bounds.
I'm glad you're going to be there. Yeah.
It doesn't happen often.
The interviews will not be aired on cable,
Right.
and they're gonna be held in the high school library. So tomorrow's at the high school library.
Okay.
Anything else? No?
Nope,
No?
all set.
That's it?
Great.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
All right. We'll see you
Thanks,
tomorrow.
see you tomorrow, Mike.
See you tomorrow.
Okay, we're gonna jump down to number 4, the continued business sign policies as they relate to the turf field, because we have members of our Parks and Recreation Committee here. Good evening. You wanna drag some chairs on up? Did you see the one that was today? The Parks and Recreation Committee is here before us this evening to make a request to allow signage on the track and field located down at the high school. You've got the book. Would you
Good evening.
introduce yourselves?
As most of you know, I'm Lauren McMullen, and I'm the current chair of Parks and Recreation Committee.
Congratulations.
And I'd like to introduce our Parks Director, Marty Tilton, who most of you probably know too. Vice Chair, Rita Mullen. Maureen Stevens, Director, Office Head, not sure what the correct title is, Operations Manager. Sergio Coviello, who most of you know also. And I want to thank you very much for having us tonight to make a presentation. And I think that Rita and Marty know the most about what's what's been occurring over the past 5 or 6 weeks regarding this, so I'm gonna hand the floor